Okay, so professors, like I hinted you, we are going to start our presentation on the skills of managers and then the levels of management. The ladies are going to do the levels of management. The gentlemen would do the skills and managerial roles. So, dear ladies, group leader Margilla, please, the floor is yours. Let me share your presentation slides. So there you have it. And then the floor is yours, so you can begin.
Thank you, sir. So today we'll be talking about management, the levels of management. So Araba will start with the definition of management. Yes, thank you.
Please, we are presenting on the levels of management, but first we looked at the definition of management. So management is the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling the resources of an organization, such as people, money, and materials, in order to achieve stated goals and goals efficiently and effectively. So please, the next slide. So the levels of management, we have three main levels of management, which is the top level management, the middle level management, and the lower level management. Thank you. Please, my colleague will continue.
Thank you, Araba. So we went about the three levels of management, the top level management, the middle level management, and the lower level management. I'd like to dive deeper into the top level management. Firstly, the top level management is the highest authority in an organization, responsible for making major decisions and setting the overall direction of the business. It consists of the board of directors, the BODs, the chief executive officers, CEOs, the chief operating officers, COOs, or the managing directors. The top level management is the ultimate source of authority, and it manages goals and policies for an enterprise. It devotes more time on planning and coordinating functions. Another name for top level management is senior or executive management. So I'd like to give the mic to Sefam to talk more about the functions of management.
The functions of top level management. So top level management lays down the objectives and broad policies of the enterprise. So let's say like in a school, when we're discussing, we assume that the top level management is like the headmaster or headmistress. They are on the top. So they lay objectives and broad policies of the whole school that we are all supposed to follow. So the top level management issues necessary instructions for preparation of departments, budgets, procedures, and schedules. So the top level management they give necessary instructions. So let's like the headmaster or the head mistress, they can give the instructions to the teachers. Yes. So they can give instructions to the teachers. Yes. So the top level management also prepares strategic plans and policies for the enterprise. So they prepare the plans and policies of the enterprise because they are the head, like the CEO and the board of directors. They appoint the executives for middle level management, example, departmental managers. And they also controls and coordinate the activities of all the departments. Thank you.
So the middle level management includes branch managers and departmental managers. These managers are responsible to top management for how their departments function. Their main role is
to organize work and give directions to staff so that the plans made by top management are successfully carried out. In small organizations, there is usually only one layer of middle level management. However, in large enterprises, middle level management may be divided into senior and junior levels to improve supervision and efficiency. And please, I'm done to the next person. Bye.
Functions of middle level management. To translate overall company strategy into specific workable departmental plans and policies. So the middle level management, they translate the overall company strategy so that the lower level management will be able to follow the plans and policies which have been translated, to distribute resources and assign duties to lower level staff to ensure smooth operations, to serve as a bridge between the top level management and lower level management, conveying information, goals, and feedback, to oversee daily activities and monitor progress of the company, to recruit, train, motivate, and develop staff to improve their skills and efficiency.
The lower level management. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sure, we can hear
Yes,
you, so
please.
go ahead.
So I'm presenting on the lower level management. The lower level management, also known as the first line managers of a company, directly oversee non-managerial staff, handling daily operations, task delegation, and performance monitoring to ensure quality and efficiency. So in regards to the example that Majala gave us about the school system, the people that may represent the lower level management may be the prefects because they make sure that instructions from the headmaster or the teachers are being acted upon by the students. So they make sure that everything goes on in the school. So the lower level managers are vital for translating higher level plans into action, ensuring smooth daily workflows, and fostering good employee relations, and directly impacting the organization's overall output and efficiency. So in relation to the work of the prefects make sure that we do what the school rules tell us to do, which were made by the headmasters and headmistresses, and ensure that everything goes well in the school daily. So that's how I can explain lower level management. I'd like to give the functions of lower level management to my mate Janice.
Functions of lower level management: to directly guide and train and instruct workers in daily activities. So supervisors showing employees how to do their everyday tasks, teach them skills on the job and give step-by-step instructions so the work can run smoothly. Second point, to assign specific jobs and tasks to employees for daily workflow. Managers decide which worker does which job each day, matching tasks to the people's abilities to keep the workflow efficient and organized. 3. To oversee the quality and quantity of production and evaluate employee performance. They watch the amount and quality of what's being produced and assess how well each employee is doing, spotting problems and giving feedbacks. 4. to act as a bridge between middle management and workers to convey grievances and suggestions and also communicate higher level goals downward. Lower level management links the workers with the middle management, passing workers' complaints or ideas upward and relaying the organization's objectives and decisions downwards to the team. 5. To prepare periodic reports on worker performance and operational progress. They write regular reports that summarize how employees are performing and how operations are advancing, providing information on higher management to make decisions. Thank you.
So please, we would like to ask if there are any questions.
Okay, I think you deserve some rounds of applause. I'll do it from my end here. I want to appreciate every bit of time, energy, resource spent into this presentation. You've had a wonderful one. However, I think, like you said, you are open for questions, and then I guess we'll also look at some critiques, not criticisms, but critiques. There's a difference between critiquing and criticizing, right? Criticizing is always about looking at the negatives without necessarily analyzing. So we are not doing criticizing here. We are doing critiquing, which means you analyze on a very objective, note. So professors, we have our ladies presenting on the levels of management. Levels of management. I think they have done well. They deserve some accolades. But questions, if you have any questions. So our male professors, if you have any question, you can go ahead and ask. Or any contribution about maybe they could have done this or they could have done. Or maybe even amongst the ladies, if you want to point out something, you can do that. Okay, I would hold on to my comments until the male group has presented or have presented, because I don't want to give them any clue as to how to do certain things, so they get some advantage over the ladies. So male group, yes, I was waiting for the email. I don't think it's in yet. So Prof. Kwesi, I think I'll give you the permission to share your screen. So start sharing your screen, and then the permission request will come for me to allow you to share your screen. Okay.
Thank you. Can you all see my screen?
No, hold on. I think let me adjust the settings. Yes, so I've done the multiple sharing. You can share yours now, but I'm going to stop mine. Okay, so I have stopped sharing. We expect to see yours. So, professors, I want to believe you can see Kwesi's screen. I can see it here. Please, can you all see Kwesi's screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, so the gentleman, the ball is in your bedroom. You can start playing it.
Please, good afternoon. Please, this is the males group for business management, and we are here to present on the roles and skills of a manager. So when we say the skills of a manager, they are like the abilities and the capabilities of a manager of a company. Some of the skills of a manager, they are the communication skills. The manager should know how to communicate with people to ensure a conducive environment. For instance, in a working environment, the manager should have cordial relationship with his workers and he should know how to speak to each and every one of them just not to lose his labor force. Then the second skill that I would like to talk about is the leadership skill. The manager should have the ability to influence and inspire others. This simply means that the manager should have the capacity to instill discipline in them when they are going wayward. He should be able to lead the company to success without like intentionally hurting anyone. The third one is the problem solving, the problem solving skills. The manager should have the ability on how to solve problems in the company. As a manager of a company, there might be many problems that can come your way, but to be a good manager, you must find ways and means to help take away all those challenges and bring your business back on track. The other one is the innovative skills, the ability to invent new things and bring about better ways to do the things that the company needs. So to be a manager, you must be innovative, you must be creative in order to bring out solutions to problem and bring out things that will help in the development of your company. I'm handing over to Joris.
It's, Prof. Joris, if we can, unless you are having a network issue. Okay, so in the absence of Joris, who was to Alice? Because you need a backup plan.
Service, there's only both of us.
Okay. Let's. So now
So
that
should I
Joris is not available, who would continue? He's here though, but
should I do it?
I don't know if he can hear us. Joris, can you hear us? Amuzu. Okay. So I think Prof. Gabriel, you may have to continue on behalf of Joris because of the time.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so Joris says he's in a noisy area. So I think Gabriel, you would have to continue. Unless you would elect or appoint any other group member to do.
Service, I can't appoint it, like I'm not a leader. So like I'd like to ask the group whether anyone would like to help me with this.
Okay, so go ahead.
Please, the VM, the meal group members, please, who would like to help us with the last one? Please, who is Minta?
Sir, please, are you calling me? Hello.
Please, the group leader said that you can do it, so I should give it to you.
Okay.
So I think Kwesi should switch between the screen so
Yes,
that.
please. Yes, please change the screen.
Okay, so the third slide displays the roles of a manager. Sir, please, can you hear me?
Sure, we can hear you. Continue.
So it displays the roles of a manager. 1. Planning. The manager sets goals and decides in advance what action to be taken. So it is the responsibility of the manager to plan so that his employees or his partners will like agree or not. The second one is supervision. The manager ensures that things going on in the business should be done to perfection. The manager makes sure that everyone performs their role to ensure productivity. So, as a manager, at least you should visit your company once or twice a week to supervise the workers if everything is being done well. This can increase productivity in the business. The third one is staffing. The manager is responsible for the employment of people into the company. So if anyone needs to be employed in the company, the person has to meet the manager. And then some documents are required before you can be employed. These documents are normally reviewed by the manager of the company. And then the last one is leading and directing. Motivation, coach, coaching, and guiding employees to perform tasks efficiently. So it is the responsibility of the manager to motivate, coach, and guide employees to perform their tasks efficiently. And if there is any problem that the employee is facing, the employee must go to the manager for advice or for coach. So please, I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much. The male group. So since I'm not criticizing but critiquing, I would say that the male group has also done a good job, a good presentation. However, we'll talk about the however's later. So I don't know, Prof. Kwesi, you may have to share the slides with me. But in the interim, when we need it on the screen, I'll ask you to share your screen back, right? Okay.
Yes, please.
So
Yeah,
thank
and I'm
you.
also working on sharing the slides too.
Okay, thank you very much. So professors, let me applaud all of you for at least spending time, energy. I want to believe majority of you were very, much into the preparation and everything. There are some questions I may want to ask you, but I want us to look at the various presentations we have done. I'm going to critique based on the structure, as in how you have presented your work, before we go into content. Okay. So first of all, in fact, let me applaud all of you. When it comes to presenting, I think any professor that presented did so well. As in, it's not about just reading the point, but went ahead to explain the bits where I was not getting the vibes with, maybe citing examples or scenarios to back your point. Okay, so let's note that well, when you are presenting, it's better to add examples, real life situations to make your point, well understood. Now let me go to the ladies' presentation, few points there. So the ladies can take notes the gentlemen should also take notes as well. Let me share this screen so you can see. Okay, so if you are doing a PowerPoint presentation, right? The first thing you need to do is to give us the first slide, which talks about what you are going to present about. So I was expecting to see the first slide, which probably speaks about presentation on the levels of management. Okay, with regards to the ladies' PowerPoint. Okay, and of course, sometimes you even go ahead to give us the presenters. So presentation on levels of management by, then you put their names there. Okay, that is something you must do. So if it is one person doing the presentation on blah 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 by this person, that should be the first slide. Then your second slide should give us an outline. An outline. What does an outline do? An outline gives us from head to toe what you are going to present about. So in your outline, we may see something like introduction, and then maybe the next point will be the meaning of management. The next point will be the 3 levels of management. The next point will be top level management and their functions. You see in that order. It gives, the outline gives us as in an overall overview of what you are going to present. I don't know if it makes sense to you, professors.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in your subsequent presentations, I would want to see your outline. Okay. In terms of certain things we do on PowerPoint, I think the ladies did well, because in PowerPoint, your main topics should be in a certain format, and we call it the sans serif. Um, uh, the sans serif is the format that has the stylish, nature. So the ladies, you see their main headings are in sans serif, but the main body should be in serif. The serif format is one that does not have any styles or okay, you see that their lines are smooth. It doesn't curve or corner anything. So when you are doing presentations, be mindful of those technicalities as well. And then again, you need to number your PowerPoints. So page 1, page 2, page 3, I didn't see those pages. And I think it's same for the gentlemen. We'll get to the gentlemen. Okay. So for the ladies, I think it's the first slide talking about what you are presenting on. The second slide about the outline of your presentation. And then I think they did well with the formatting. So no issues with the formatting. And then the page numbers, or the PowerPoint number. So dear ladies, take notes. Now, in terms of contents, I think I'll do the content critique in our next class, where I would also give you things that were not said here. But I think the ladies did well, except for I was hoping to see the diagram. Okay, the pictorial view of the levels of management. So I was expecting to see this diagram. Okay. Permit me with my drawing is, my lines are not smooth. I don't know, dear ladies, did you come across the diagram showing the levels of management? Or you didn't see that? Okay, so this is the diagram or a pictorial view of the levels of management, right? So obviously, this is the top level, this is the middle level, and this is the lower level. So I was expecting to see this diagram in their presentation. Besides that, I think they did very well with details of the core points. Speaking about the other names for the top level, which is the executive, or sometimes referred to as the strategic level of management, and then the middle level management, which is the tactical level of management. So they did well. Lower level is the first line managers or operational managers. So I think with the others, they did so well. My only issue had to do with the diagram showing the levels. Maybe talks more about that because it's one of the unique concepts in there. So, dear ladies, I think you have noted the points.
Yes.
Okay. So, like I said, I think all of you did well with your tonations, your voice tunes, themes. I really was happy about that. So let's sharpen the skills on the PowerPoint and other things. I think we are good to go. Now, Prof. Kwesi, share the mails, PowerPoint. Let's critique it. So let me stop sharing. All Prof. Kwesi is off, has gone off.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, great. I think the rains have started in my area in case my network vanishes. That is why, but currently I think I'm safe. Okay, so please go to the first slide. The first slide. Great. So our gentleman did You see, this is what I was talking about for the female group. They gave us the first PowerPoint, which tells us about what they are presenting, but they went business management project work by male group. So it doesn't tell us what specifically they are going to present on. So you could have enhanced it by putting in the specific thing you are presenting on, which is the managerial skills and roles of managers, right? Now, they also didn't give us the outline. They didn't do the page or the PowerPoint numbering. Okay, and then they didn't even say thank you. Any questions? My male professors, I think the ladies did well in that regard. At least they said thank you and then any questions. Yes, it's professional for you to put that slide there, thanking your audience and then asking for any questions. So my male professors, take note. With regards the formatting, the sans serif and serif. Please go to your second slide. Let me see. Okay, so they use both the serif for their topic and their main body. I think their font size is also small. It's also small. So take note of your font sizes and font style. I think I've spoken about. In terms of content, hey, my mail group, where did you get your information from? Because, in every subject, there are scholars or experts in the field who have propounded certain theories and concepts, widely accepted. So, yes, you spoke about roles and skills of managers, but, there's this scholar. His name is Henry Mansbeck. Okay, a very eminent writer in business management, who categorized the roles of a manager into, interpersonal roles, informational roles, and I'm not seeing that in your presentation because I was expecting you to, get that. The interpersonal rules, the informational rules, and then the decisional rules. So, okay, this is the skills. In fact, the skills too are also grouped into technical skills, human relation skills, conceptual skills, and diagnostic skills. Okay, so the skills you listed here may fall under these broad categories: technical, human relation, conceptual, and diagnostic skill. I was expecting to see that too, but I didn't. So let me inquire. How did you, serve for your information? I want to know. Did you Google it, or you picked it from a textbook, or from your learner manual? I want to know. Gentlemen, I need an answer. Okay, so I think that in terms of content, we need to do a lot about our mail group presentation, right? Like I've hinted, the skills of a manager are broadly categorized into technical skills, okay, conceptual skills, diagnostic skills, okay, and the roles are also categorized into interpersonal, decisional, informational. Okay, so, well, no worries. I think I'll do a presentation on those things so that you can put them in perspective, because under exams conditions for this topic, you would have to align to those broad categories. Okay. But gentlemen, did you come across the point I've raised, as in the broad categories of the skills and roles of a manager? Did you come across it? I have how many gentlemen here, but none of them. Josiah, Joshua, Boateng. Okay, some were not in the group yet because they joined late. But Josiah should be there. Let me check the list as presented. Emmanuel Fifinati was also there. How did you go about your information gathering? I want to know. I'm very much interested. Or it's a secret? uh, Group leader. Who is the group leader for the males?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so you were the group leader, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. So I want to know, at least, how you gathered the information, the sources of your information. And yes, let me add this. In fact, all of you needed to give references. Where did you gather this information from? It's very important when you are presenting,
Oh,
especially on a topic and all that. Yeah.
sir. Well, uh, most of the information we got it like we brainstormed on our own and got it ourselves. Then some of the skills we researched it online.
Okay. Okay.
So not everything was like from our head.
Okay.
Some like we searched on the internet for them, but I don't think our sources were correct.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let me hear from the ladies. Ladies, how did we go about gathering our information? I think Prof. Majila, let me see if she's still on. Okay, Majila is still on, yes. So, Prof, how did you go about it?
Everybody shared their opinions, their ideas, what they know of the topic. But hello, sir.
Yes, I'm listening to you. Oh, I think Majila went off. I don't know if the cloudy weather with the winds is everywhere. For me in Cape Coast, it's on, but I'm fortunate that my network is still on. Oh, I think Majila went off. But at least if I'm beginning to learn a trend, it seems like some of you did not partake in this group discussion, group presentation. Okay, so some other professor also said that it's raining somewhere. So yes, the rains are causing the network hitches because my professors are going on. But for those who can hear me, if you can hear me, please unmute and say, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. If you can hear me, then you all partook in the group presentation. So at least you know where you gathered the information from. So the ladies, how did you gather the information? Let me call some people to answer these questions. So let me speak to Prof. Stacy.
Beauty as to hold another one is obviously just on effect.
Okay, so Prof. Majila, I think you are back now, so you can go ahead.
So yeah, we gathered. Sir, please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So everybody shared their ideas on the topic.
Okay.
Then we verified through books and the internet.
Okay. So when you say books,
Yeah.
which books did you refer to?
Some textbooks and the student's manual.
Okay. So you see, that explains why in terms of content, here let me be very objective. In terms of content, I think the ladies did a great job with feeding us with the right content. Okay. My gentlemen, one thing you should have taken note of is the subject is governed by a curriculum. So I was expecting you to contact the learner manual. Okay, but I didn't hear that. It was more of brainstorming and surfing I didn't hear the mention of the manual. I don't know if you mentioned that, but I didn't hear. Okay, so in our subsequent presentations, I'm doing all this critiquing to help us, do better in our next. And probably you might not know where you find yourself. You might become a lecturer, an accountant, a manager and you have to present. So if you are presenting, you need to be well prepared for it. Okay. So thank you very much, professors. Again, I want to thank all of you for the work that you did. My general impression was that the ladies were more active than the gentlemen. The gentlemen may disagree, but that is the fact from my end, objectively. Because on their page, you see them assigning, task to individual members. But the male group there, I as a boy, it's a kasasa, so me eh. And it even showed in the presentation, only 2 people were assigned to present. Well, for that, I'll not fault them because they only had 2 slides. Okay, but you see that the ladies at least had enough members presenting. Okay, but I think overall, I want to commend you, but I will encourage you to, do more and better in our next presentation, which will be a mixed group, right? Okay. In fact, I think I cannot continue with my questions because then that will. However, based on what you have presented, let me ask a few questions to professors to see if indeed they followed the presentation. So, Prof. Kwesi, thank you. You can take your screen off. Okay.
So I've stopped sharing now.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please, any comments so far? Any issue, anything for me to clarify before we move? Okay. It's like my professors don't like talking about. But anyway, let me ask a few questions. So based on the presentation, if you are asked to briefly describe the levels of management, what would you say? Let me go to one of the ladies who didn't present. Prof. Janet. Prof. Janet, I think is a new person. Prof. Janet, can we hear hello from you and probably tell us your school? Unless you're a parent, then of course. Prof. Janet Opoku, yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Please, I'm from Holy Child School.
Okay, Holy Child. You are joining us for the second month, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
No, this is my first time.
Your first time. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So you are welcome along the line. Yes, I think you would follow us. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
let me go to Prof. Nicole. Prof. Nicole, what will be your brief summary of the levels of management?
So the levels of management is a structure through which power is distributed in a business.
Okay. Oh, that's all. Very brief like that. Okay. So yes, the point she makes is very true, right? That it shows how power has been distributed in an organization. And that leads me to my next question. So when you consider the 3 levels of management as explained by my dear lady professors, okay, the 3 levels, the top, the middle, the lower. Which level do you think has the greatest authority or power? And this question goes to all professors, so it's not about being a lady or so. Prof. Bill Hagan, based on the presentation, which level would you say has the greatest level of authority?
Sir, please, top level.
The top level. And that is very true. So if you enter an organization now, these managers are not many, they are very few, right? And the major power and authority of the business is centered at this level. So if we take MTN Ghana, for example, can you mention a specific group that will fall under this top level management? They gave us a case for a school and they said the headmaster, right? But I know apart from the headmaster, we have the board members, right? And sometimes the patron of the school. But let's look at a classical business organization. What positions will be seen at the top level management? Prof. Dennis, live here from. Prof. Dennis, this question is to you. Prof. Dennis, live here from. Okay, let me go to Fidel. Prof. Fidel. Or is it that they cannot hear me or they have decided not to talk? Prof. Fidel. Prof. Isobel Corte. If you didn't understand my question, you can ask for more clarification, right? Maybe you don't understand the question, that's why you are failing to answer. But I want to believe professors understood the question I was asking. And the question was, can you mention any position in a business that will be under the top level management for a business organization or a profit-making organization? Well, Prof. Janet, you are joining us for the first time, but I think you can share your thoughts here based on what you heard from the presentation. Any other professor who is ready can go ahead. Yes, Prof. Nico.
Sir, please, the board of directors.
Exactly, the board of directors or any member of the board of directors will be part of the top level. Specifically, the chief executive officer, the CEOs. I was expecting to hear that. Or the general manager. Okay, these are positions or offices at the top level of management. Okay. Now the middle level. So we can say that from the top, the next level, middle, so they have some level of authority or power, and their main, Kwesi, hold on. Their main duty is to link the top level and lower level. So it's like the top level managers formulate the overall goals of the business or the policies of the business. And the middle level will break it down, into simpler units to help the lower level managers, perform, right? So in a classical business organization, what do you think would be the positions under the middle level. But before that, I think Kwesi wanted to say something. So, Prof. Kwesi, let's hear it.
So I want the middle level.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, it can be the same thing. Tell us yours.
So I didn't say this. I was like, you were saying something, so I put my hand down.
Okay. So don't worry, just give us your version. Even if it's the same as what I said, we want to hear it coming from you.
A secretary as a middle level.
A secretary. Now, this question is to the whole class. Would we consider a secretary as a middle level manager or manageress? Oh, please share your thoughts. Don't keep quiet like that. Prof. David. And I think those who have just typed their first name should add their surnames to it. So David what? So Prof. David, whilst you do that, you speak to us. Would you consider a secretary as a top level, middle level, right? Manager.
Yes.
Okay, what are your reasons for that?
Says because
Anyway, I think I even appreciate your first response that yes, that's your opinion, yes. So don't worry if the reason is not coming, no worries. I still appreciate your point. So let me get another reaction, then maybe I'll give my comments as to who a secretary or where a secretary will fall. Any other comments? Prof. Finati, you haven't spoken today. I think there's okay. So Janet wants to say something. Janet, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to add up to the middle authorities. I had project managers.
Okay, project managers. Okay. Thank you for that. But we are on the secretary to determine whether a secretary would fit for a middle level manager.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you for the point. Project managers. We'll look at that too. Okay, so regards the secretary, we really need to determine the work of a secretary, right? Now, at each level, what does a secretary do? A secretary would normally do, administrative work like, managing schedules and calendars, coordinating meetings and communications, right? Preparing reports and documents, and then maintaining records and files. These are the things that secretaries do. Now, would you disagree or agree if I said that at each level of management, there could be a secretary? So the CEO could have a secretary who would plan his schedules, coordinate meetings of the chief executive officer. Likewise, a branch manager could have a secretary because the middle level constitute like branch managers or departmental heads. They could also have secretaries who would monitor, plan their schedules and calendars, right? So this, there are some groups of people, okay, we call them support staff, okay, support staff, because even the lower level managers can have a secretary. Because if you look at what a secretary does, the person provides assistance or support. Okay, so like I said, the CEO could have a secretary, the headmaster of a college could have a secretary, the assistant headmaster could have a secretary. But in GES, you hardly see some of these things. right? So it will be a bit, for lack of a better word, a bit untrue to say that a secretary belongs to this level of management, because they are more of administrative staff, rendering supportive services to the main managers. I don't know if what I've said makes sense to you. So it will be difficult to say that a secretary is a middle level manager or a lower level or a top level. Would have to analyze, what does the person do? If the person is doing supportive work, and that's what secretaries do, then we cannot pinpoint that they fall under this category. But if we mention like something like a headmaster or a CEO, you can directly tell that, okay, this person belongs to this top level of management, right? Please, at the point, does it make sense to you what I've said?
Yes, sir.
If you have a question, you can ask. Okay, so thank you for that, those contributions you made. Okay, so I think we can make progress. So that is a bit about the levels of management. Now, you see, last time I spoke to you about the functions of management, right? Planning, organizing, directing, leading, and controlling. Now, my question is, do some levels of management perform certain functions and others do not? That is, if we take the four fundamental functions: planning, organizing, directing, and controlling, right? Do all the managers at different levels perform these four? Or you feel that planning should be done by the top level only? So my question is, planning is done by all levels of management, true or false? And of course, you need to add a reason for choosing true or false. Yeah, Gabriel, are you saying something?
Service, I didn't hear the question.
So planning is done by all managers at all levels of management, true or false?
SF is true.
It's true. Okay. So that is to say that regardless of the level where you find yourself, in as much as it's a managerial position, you perform all the functions. You plan, you organize, you direct or lead, and you control as well. Okay, so thank you very much. But I think that I'll do a lesson on the levels and then the skills, just to add points that were omitted by our very good groups, the female group and the male group. Okay. So at this point, I'll pause for questions if there are no further questions. But I think you can take these points down so that you go and research about it. So that is about the male group presentation. So let me create a slide and write a few things here for you. So I'm saying that, or I said that when it comes to the managerial skills or skills of a manager, it is categorized broadly into one, technical skills. So please take note of this, technical skills, and I need you to go and read around it so that when I begin talking to you about them, you would appreciate. So we have the technical skills, we have the human relation skills. Then we have conceptual skills. And the last one is diagnostic skill. Diagnostics. Okay, so these are the 4 main categories of skills a manager should possess. I don't want to speak about the details of what each of them is, right? Technical, human relation, but the name should suggest to you what they are. So human relation skill, technical skill, conceptual skill, and that, yes.
So something to ask if the human relation deals with the communication with the
Exactly, right? So human relation, how do you relate with people? And if you are going to relate well with people, it means your communication should be sharper, right? That's why I told you that the points the male group presented are sub skills, okay, under the broad skills. Okay. Now the technical, let me just speak a bit. Technical, as the name suggests. So that is the knowledge, the specific knowledge you have, okay, or that you are supposed to have to be able to perform a certain role. So for example, if you are employed as a surgeon, you need to possess a technical skill. What is that technical skill? The knowledge you have to be able to perform surgeries successfully. That is the technical skill. And you see, it's different from the human relation skill. So the human relation will be how you, the surgeon, you relate with the patient, your colleague, medical doctors or surgeons. Okay. Then the third, conceptual. When we talk of conceptual, it borders about how a manager can be able to coordinate, okay, or integrate different parts. You know, when you pick a school, for example, let me use a school, for example. You know, a school is made up of sub departments, like the science department, the business, the arts, those who do home economics, and the visual art, right? So these are different parts. And as a manager, as a headmaster, you need to possess this conceptual skill to be able to bring these different parts, coordinate activities of these different parts, because at the end of the day, you are managing a school. So you need to coordinate the individual parts or departments to be able to achieve the set goals of the school. And that is the conceptual skill. Okay. So even though you have a science and maths department, you should realize that no, those in the English department, in a way, have a role to play in the science and maths department. So you need to coordinate, right? Or integrate these separate units so that you can achieve the goal. That's the conceptual skill. Okay. And of course, the diagnostic, I think I'll leave professors to suggest or tell us, diagnose. So diagnostic skill, what do you think it's about?
So please, can I try
In
to
fact,
answer
try.
that?
You have every right to try. Try it.
Okay, so like I think that the diagnostic skill is it talks about like how you are able to find problems and how to give solutions to them.
Exactly. So you diagnose the problem. You should be able to know, understand the problem. Yes, Prof. Janet.
I would say used to identify the root cause of problems
Thank you. I
and
love that
find
part. The root cause. The root cause. The root cause. Very useful statement there. Thank you very much. The root cause. What is causing the problem? So you see, when you go to the hospital, they do diagnosis, right? Because they possess that skill, they have that ability to tell or determine the root cause of why you are vomiting and why you are having a high temperature. So in business organizations, managers need to have or possess the skill of finding the root cause of problems in the organization. So if your workers are coming to work late, you need to diagnose it. If your business is making losses, you need to diagnose it. So that ability to fish out the cause is the diagnostic skill, that ability to do that. Okay. I said I will not talk about these things, but I'm already teaching or talking about them anyway. Then when you talk of the, please, any question? Any question? Okay, so let me finish up with the rules, the managerial rules, and I think we can call it the managerial rules. Any question? Okay. So when we talk of the managerial role, the role of a manager. So I told you that that is also grouped into, broad categories. So the first one is interpersonal role. Now, under the interpersonal role, we have the manager being a leader, a figurehead, and a liaison. Okay, a French word, liaison. In fact, I think I'll leave professors because of the time. I'll leave professors to go and read about it. Okay, so we have the leader, the manager as a figurehead, a leader, or provides leadership, and also a liaison. Liaison simply means the manager is a link between the organization and the outside world, right? That is why if anything happens in a school, the first person they call is who? The headmaster. Why? Because the headmaster has that liaison role to play. He would have to communicate on behalf of the school to the public or to the outside, right? And likewise, if the public wants to reach the school, they would have to go through the headmaster. Okay, great. And he's also seen as the leader and the figurehead of the school. Okay. The other broad category of managerial roles is informational role. Informational role. So under that we have the manager is a monitor, is a disseminator, and also a spokesperson, right? Let me put that point also down. So that is the informational. Please write these things and search on them. I may or may not talk about it because it's a presentation assignment, but I'll talk about it. So it's a monitor, a disseminator, and also a spokesperson. So I think you appreciate the spokesperson, right? So he speaks on behalf of the organization, right? If the school has to, say anything in the public, the headmaster is the one in charge to do that, unless maybe he's not available and appoints or delegates. Disseminator, he distributes information. Okay, when we say a disseminator, somebody who gathers information and shares it. That's why they conduct staff meetings to tell teachers what is happening, what the directorate or the regional officers are talking about. Okay. Then the last part is, or the last role is the decisional role. Decisional role. So this role talks about what the manager does in terms of taking decisions, right? So under that, we have some sub rules, which is he's the entrepreneur, he's seen as a disturbance handler, okay, resource allocator, and finally negotiator. So these are the managerial roles. And I told you these broad categories were propounded by the eminent scholar in business management, Henry Mansbeck. Henry Mansbeck. You need to appreciate that, professors. Henry Mansbeck. Okay. So according to him, a manager should have these rules. Okay. Any question, professors? Any question? Okay, so I guess that if there are no questions, today we looked at our group presentations. I think both of us or both of the groups did well, but there were a few things to, take note of. And I want to believe that professors took my comment in good faith and would have learned one or two when it comes to doing a PowerPoint presentation. I went about critiquing some of the content, and I led us to looking at the levels of management, being able to pictorially present it. So you can present the levels of management using a triangle, right? Or some call it a pyramid. Okay, where the lower level forms the base, the middle level, and then the peak of the mountain is the top level, right? And then regarding the roles and skills of managers, I have given you the broad categories, and I wish that you go and read further on them. They do appear in exams, right? They do appear in exams, and I would see if I can get few questions in this regard for you to appreciate. Okay, so any questions for me, professors? I have Adon, Gabriel, Michael, Bill, Hagan, David, Dennis, Fidel, Isobel, Janet, Jaden, Joel, Joris, Josephine, Josh, Boating, Josiah, Kenina, Majela, Michael Boating, Nanako, Mintan, Nana Kwesi Owusu, Nicole, Sapon, Chris, Sepham, Valerie, Zuriel, and Ewana. If there are no questions, I would want to appreciate all of you for the work you did on your presentation. So tomorrow I would get the mixed group ready. And so at this time, I will not create the groups. You would create your groups and then start the group discussions for our next presentation. So I'm going to put the topics or assign the topics. Looking at our numbers, I think we can do like 5 members in a group so that we have like at least a minimum of 6 groups. Okay, so those who have not added their names to the group, the list, I asked you to do a list in the various groups. Please do that so that I can do the groupings, and then tomorrow we can start our group presentations. I'm beginning to have a rethink that maybe I can assign this broad managerial rules. So maybe group 1 will talk about interpersonal rule, okay, and tell us about the details, okay, just to complement the first presentation, okay. I think that is fair. While I continue teaching you the functions of management, we are on planning. When we are done, we'll move to organizing in that order, okay. So thank you very much, professors. I think this all that time would allow us. For those who didn't talk, no problem. I'll catch you another time. Those who contributed, God bless you so much. Have a nice day, or continue to enjoy your day. I'll see you, God willing, another time. Bye-bye. I'll share the video in the group so that you can go and look at the presentation again.